welcome to the Have Knitting Podcast. My name is Christy, and today is the 31st of May, which means that tomorrow is the 1st of June. Sorry, I'm looking outside because I'm sitting at my dining room table, and I can see out the back sliding door, and it's come over really grey and really cold. I let the fire go out, and I'm regretting that. But they're forecasting rain, and I know that it's already raining down in some parts of Sydney, but that's east. The clouds are coming in from the west. I got washing on the line. It's a stressor. It really, really is. So, welcome to Crazy Town. My name is Christy, if I haven't said that already. And yeah, this is the Have Knitting or Crazy Town podcast, whichever name you would prefer. It's been 3 weeks since my last podcast, and I feel like this should be Knitters Anonymous. I'm just going to embrace the crazy today. I'm going to embrace it. I think I might even endeavour to giggle the whole way through. Anyway, so yeah, it's been 3 weeks. I did record last week, but I'm not going to go into why I didn't upload it, because it just makes me look ridiculous. So it has been 3 weeks. But yeah. So when I get to show you my Brian shawl, where the, and I'll tell you again, but where the progress keeper is not where I was last time. But I moved it last week because I recorded and I thought I was going to upload, and then I didn't upload. Okay, so I'll try and start looking at the weather. So, what was I going to tell you? Highlights, last 3 weeks. Highlights of the last 3 weeks, because I know how much you all love to hear about my week. Okay, so the after I recorded last time, and no, this is important because, you know, like, I like sharing my life with people that I've never met before, because this is fun. Embrace the crazy. Embrace it, I say. So, yes, okay, so after I recorded, my 10-year-old and my 8-year-old participated in the district cross country. So they represented their school. We had our cross country back in April. My daughter placed first for her age, and my son placed third, sorry. I'll get the numbers right eventually. My son placed third. So they were both off to district, which was 2.5 weeks ago. I was up in Blackheath. We rogged up because it's, you know, like further up the mountain. It snows up there. And we really rugged the baby up because he's not been well, put my daughter in a skivvy and a jumper, and I think she might have had a jacket and a beanie, and we went to town. And we got there, and where the, I had a long sleeve t-shirt on, I had a cardigan on, I had a shawl on, I had a jacket on over the top of that, and I had wool socks. Like, you know, my hand knitted socks. And we got out of the car, and it was really, 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 really chilly. You know, the sort of chilly where your nose just starts dripping. I know that happened to my grandmother, because I can remember watching her nose, like, quite literally drip. Yes, anyway, so it was that kind of chilly. And then we got down to where it was, and where they have the cross country is sort of like down kind of in a gully, but it's quite protected where it is, and the sun shines right on it. So after about being there for about half an hour to an hour, we're peeling off the layers because we were so hot. But anyway, it was a really lovely day. It was nice being there. My daughter placed 9th, which was an achievement on last year. An improvement, achievement, whatever. She came 10th last year, and she got 9th this year. Seeing her run upstairs is something else. It just, every time I think about it, it makes me smile. And my son placed 12th. So I'm very, very proud of both of them. They did really, really, really well. I'm really looking forward to seeing them continue to race in the future. I'm not about to sign up for little athletics and stuff like that. You know, unless they want to. Anyway, I didn't want to talk about that. But yeah, so that was really good. And then after that was over, like after my daughter's race was over, we had to go back to school quickly because it was my middle son, my 6-year-old son, school assembly. So it was really exciting to see him stand up in front of all of the junior school or the infant school, and, you know, speak into a microphone. It was only a sentence, but to speak into a microphone. And so if you've been watching this for a while, you know he's got some speech difficulties, or delays, whatever you want to call them. They're not insurmountable, and we are getting there, but to see him stand up, I initially thought that his teacher wouldn't get him to speak. I mean, not because he can't talk, but just because he does tend to jumble his words and mispronounce certain words and certain sounds. Like he'll say "whore" instead of "her," and it's something that we are currently working on. And he'll say "I not" instead of "I cannot." So those kind of things. So I didn't think that she would actually get him to say anything. And then when he got up and stood there with the microphone, proud mummy moment with tears and everything. My husband was with me, so I think he had a proud daddy moment too. So that was fun. There was so much racing around that day. No wonder I got to Saturday and I was exhausted, even though my husband had been home on Friday. Anyway, so the following week, on the Tuesday, it was my birthday. My friend had coffee with me in the morning, which was great. Because originally I thought I was going to spend it on my own. The evening wasn't so good, and I'm not going to get into that drama, but let's just say my birthday ended in tears. And they weren't just mine. But so we ended up leaving present opening and birthday celebrations until Wednesday. And then we went out for dinner the following, like on the Saturday night, which was nice. It was really nice. It was nice to go out with my family. And then on Monday last week, it was my youngest daughter's 4th birthday, and she is growing up too fast. I don't want her to be 4. So Facebook has been showing me all of these memories and photos of her when she was this tiny, tiny, tiny little baby. And even when she was, 1 and 2 and, being this sweet little toddler, and, I don't want her to grow up. So she's such a funny, delightful little person. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for all of my children. But I'm really, really blessed to have her little personality living in my house, because she makes the hard days, 90% of the time she makes the hard days just bearable, because she's just so sweet and funny and just funny. Anyway, so for my birthday this year, I actually got some knitting related items. This is the first year I think I've ever gotten anything knitted related, even knitting related, even though I've asked. I've sent my husband in the right direction, and he still hasn't bought stuff. Maybe I should just give him the email address of some of my favorite dyers, or their shops, or whatever. Or maybe I should just give him the name of some of my favorite knitting people who would know what I like. I don't think that would work. I don't think any of that would work, but that's okay. Anyway, so I got some knitting things, which I shall show you. We'll start with those. The first thing I got was some yarn from my sister-in-law. She went to I think it's Yarn Fest or something in Canberra, which was the weekend before my birthday. And she sent me a text message and she said, if I go along, is there anything that you would like? And I said, well, sock yarn doesn't go astray. It's probably the thing that I amass the most is sock yarn, because, ultimately I can make socks or a small shawl or put it into a larger shawl. You would all know that, being knitters. And so I just said 4-ply yarn. So she went hunting for Australian yarn, apparently, because all the rest was American. I wasn't there, I don't know. And this is what she got me. So it's from The Wool Dancer, who is actually based in the Blue Mountains. It came with no tags. I think on the back of the card that came with it, I don't even know if it says Wool Dancer on the card, but on the back of the card that was in the package, I think it said 100% superwash Australian Merino. And I'm just going to take a moment to get on my high horse and say, if it's been sent to China for processing, it is no longer Australian. So please stop lying to me and saying that it's Australian merino. I do not care if it originally came from a sheep that lives in Australia. It was sent to China. And to be honest, I actually prefer, like Nan Bray, who is behind White Gum Wool, she sent her yarn to New Zealand for processing. That is closer to home than China, in my opinion. And I would prefer to support the New Zealand economy than China's. But anyway, that's my high horse. I'm now stepping off it. Regardless, I still love this. And if you are watching, Karina, thank you. Why is it? Makes a nice hat. Like I said, oh, this is cool. Like I said, embrace the crazy. I have been watching Call the Midwife. And the matron from the episode I watched last night, second season, I'm only on the second season, I saw there's a Ravelry group for watchers of Call the Midwife, and I almost joined, and then I saw they were talking about seasons 5 and 6, and I went, that's spoilers. I was even talking to a friend of mine who's read the books, and she was just telling me about what happens in the books. I'm going, no, I haven't seen it in the TV show yet. Shh. And anyway, so the matron was wearing like a hat on top of her head like that. It's quite small. It looks so funny. 1950s and their fashion. So that, look, I can be, embrace the crazy. So yes, so it's, obviously very neutral. I've actually, because I don't think there's any nylon in it and it doesn't come with meterage. Sorry, Wool Dancer, if you're watching, can you please label your yarn better? I think I might use it in either a 2 or 3 colour shawl. I'm thinking quite possibly one of the Melanie Berg ones. I might go searching afterwards and see, because I could use, I mean, there's some colours in here, you know, like if I got a nice chocolate brown and a cream, that would look quite nice because there's quite a bit of green in there. So I think I might do that. That would be quite nice. And then it won't be on my feet, it'll be on my shoulders and it will look lovely. So that is from my lovely sister-in-law. From the Wool Dancer. My husband got me a t-shirt. Unfortunately, all the print is on the back, and so I'm not going to be able to wear it until September or late August when the weather starts getting warmer, because there's nothing on the front, and I don't have any. I'm going to sound like an old lady. I don't have any Spencers, so it's just like, you know, long sleeve t-shirts and over short sleeve t-shirts, and I still freeze, so I've got to put a jacket over the top because there's nothing to me. So it says, I will knit on a boat. I will knit with a goat. Actually, I don't think I would actually knit with a goat. I might try and eat my yarn. Although in saying that, we were at Easter Fest one year and there were baby goats wandering around the kids area, and I'm pretty sure I was knitting while I was wandering around, so I had knit with a goat. Embrace the crazy. I will knit with a goat, and I have knit on a boat. I will knit in the train. I've done that too. I will knit in the rain. Done that. It may have been raining outside, but I was still knitting in the rain. I will knit with a fox. Can I call my husband a fox? So I've done that too. I will knit in a box. I could say my house is a bit of a box. Now I need to go find a box so I can say I've done that too. I will knit with a mouse. We did have mice in the house at one stage, and I'm pretty sure I was knitting, so I'm going to count that as a yes. I will knit in a house. Or I can't count a house and box as the same thing. So yes, I have knit in a house. I will knit here or there. I will knit everywhere. True that. True that. So embrace the crazy, people. Embrace the crazy. So, and I love that the little pictures are actually knitting stitches. How cool is that? So that was cool. That's really cool. And my lovely friend Emma, who makes things for the Knitted Friends store on Etsy, made me this lovely bag, which is really cool. I love these flowers and I love the yellow. I've become a little bit obsessed with yellow. Actually, I've been a little bit obsessed with yellow and blue combinations recently. Actually, I was in a yarn store yesterday and they had yellow, like primary yellow, and like, you know, true yellow and red, like primary red. So the two primary colors. And red and yellow together look fantastic. It was sock yarn, and I almost bought the two skeins because I was thinking I could, you know, that would make the funnest pair of, I'm sure that's not a word, would make a great pair, a great pair of socks, orange and red. Okay, there's a bit of a story here, and I'll try and keep it short. But when I was in year 10, so what, 15? No, it was between year 9 and 10, so I was 14. I went to the US for a cultural exchange. I was there for 20 days. I stayed with a host family in San Diego and went to school for a couple of days, I think, and had a great time. But I bought a magazine, I can't remember. It was one of the teen magazines, 17 or something, I don't know. I'm probably wrong because I can't remember. It was like over 20 years ago. Yeah, that sound makes me sound so old. Anyway, it was a long time ago. But anyway, I bought this magazine. And one of the photos in the magazine, you know, like when they're talking about, you know, fashion, like fashion and, you know, seasonal sort of choices, you know, layouts, whatever you want to call it. One of them, the girl's wearing, I think, a pair of red jeans or red pants and a yellow cardigan or t-shirt or jumper or anything. And I loved it. I absolutely loved the combination of yellow and red. And that image has stuck in, or obviously not the image because I can't remember whether it was a t-shirt, a jumper or a cardigan. But the color combination has stuck in my head ever since. I really love yellow and red together. I've never done it. More because I didn't think either of those colors were particularly my color. Although I've been told I look okay. I look good in red. But I prefer to wear red and black. But I've never actually gone out of my way to pull off this color combo, but I've always loved it. And so I saw this red and yellow in the wool shop yesterday, and I'm looking at it going, oh, that would look so awesome in socks. I could do striping socks, and I could get 2 pairs of socks out of it. And then, you know, thinking it through and everything, the next thought that popped into my head was, you can't do that because if you had red and yellow striping socks, you would look like Ronald McDonald. It wasn't until I got home that I realized I could have a pair of yellow socks with red heel, cuff and toe, and a pair of red socks with yellow cuff and toe. But embrace the crazy. It's all up in here. I'm insane. But that's a good thing. So anyways, oh, that was birthday stuff that I was talking about. All right, I'm going to have a sip of warm water. And let's talk about my cross stitch because that's what's sitting in front of me. I haven't really been working on this much because I think I got a little bit knitting crazy. And then I was either too tired and I didn't want to, or I was unmotivated to, or the last couple of nights I've been having head spins. So by the time I get to sitting down on the couch, like last night I watched an episode of Call the Midwives, but I ended up just working on socks because that was about all my brain could take. So the thought of having to constantly change yarn and look for different colors and read a chart and everything just kind of made my head hurt. So that's where I'm up to. Little dude is done. I don't know what this is here, this bit here. There's a swan down here. And this is some sort of building. This one is Switzerland. The little dude standing on top of the Alps with his arms out. Maybe he's trying to balance. I don't quite understand. So I'll get that in nice and close. Oh, hang on. There we go. So that's what I'm up to. I will not have April finished before June is released, but that's okay. That's okay. I may do a bit of a cross-stitching blitz in the next couple of weeks so I can get through April and start on May. And get through May before I get July. So yeah, so that's that. What else? Okay, so all of you who have watched previously will remember my lace dress for my little monkey, which is sitting over there. I'm not going to go get it. So my lace dress, it was a lace panel, and then you like have a slip stitch edge, pick up all the stitches, and you knit the rest of the dress. I finished the lace, picked up all the stitches. I had 3 extra stitches. I don't know where they came from. And I was looking at it going, I knit this on a 2.75. Oh, actually it was a 2.5 for the lace, and then you knit the dress in the 2.75. I knit this on 2.5. I go up a size for the monkey. Why haven't I gone up a size for the dress? My gauge is going to be off. I need to start this again. So I decided that instead of and I don't know why I did that, and I don't know if I've done that for the other ones. I'll show you the dress in a minute, but I did try this dress on the monkey yesterday just to get a placement for something, and it's actually quite tight across the chest. You can see the brown of the monkey sort of peeking through the stitches. So I'm actually wondering if maybe I should go up 2 needle sizes for the seasonal dresses. So this is the dress. This is the texture dress. And I am going to block this one. I haven't blocked these before, but this is a gift for a little girl. And in fact, my lovely daughter keeps coming over and seeing me working on this, and my 4-year-old daughter, and saying, "Is that for me, Mummy?" And I say, "No, it's not for you." And she goes, "No, it's for summer." I said, "Yes, it's for summer." So she's a bit sad about that. So I've really got to get, obviously I've got to get working on this. So I forgot what I was going to say. So I can, her one. So I've done this bow. It's like 23 centimeters. She says to do it, like to knit for, no, crochet a chain 23 centimeters long and then sew it on. But I actually think this is really, really, really big. So I may end up, I think, cut that off and do another one. Do a smaller one, like 20 centimeters or 17 centimeters or something, because that's just huge. It just kind of takes up all the room. Anyway, so, and the other thing I've been doing is the Peter Pan collar, and oh my goodness, people, I'm cross stitching. I'm crocheting, oh my goodness. So I've done the first little scallop of the Peter Pan collar. And for those of you that know me well, or have been watching for a while, I don't crochet. I just don't. I do not do it. I own less than 5 crochet hooks. Actually, I probably own 3, maybe 4. Actually, probably now 5, because I bought one yesterday. But I don't crochet. I just don't. I crochet the little hooks or the little buttons for the back. I use crochet hooks to pick up drop stitches occasionally. And that is it. I don't do anything more than that. I'll use a crochet hook for a provisional cast on, but then I provisionally cast on directly onto the needle. I don't crochet. Now I do. I know how to do a chain stitch. Duh. And I also know how to do a treble stitch. Oh, and a slip stitch. But I know how to treble. I don't know how to do anything else, but I know how to treble. So it's just proven. Actually, my hands, my left hand was a bit sore yesterday because, like, maybe I'm holding it awkwardly, like the yarn intention and everything, because I'm trying to do it like I knit. And so my index finger is tensioning the yarn, and my middle finger is holding my work, and so I was getting pain off along the back of my hand. So I'm probably doing it wrong. So once it started to hurt, I stopped, because, you know, the last thing I want is RSI. But in saying that, I don't care if I'm doing it wrong at this point in time, although the ladies that will be cross-stitching at my craft group on Thursday, I will be watching closely to see how they do it. Just in case, because I don't like being in pain. But I have no intention of actually taking up crochet as a as another yarning hobby. I will take up spindling before I take up crochet. And I don't say that because, you know, I'm being dismissive. I'm saying that because I'd actually prefer to spindle. So lots of people have been talking, okay, 2 people have been talking about spindling lately, and it's kind of, I'm intrigued because they take up far less room than a spinning wheel. So yes, so that is my little scallop. I don't know if it's going to focus. I'll get rid of my dodgy nails. Because I used gel. That's the new Jamberry, I think it's called Scavenger Hunt. Oh, my index finger's weird. But it's a lovely pale green. But I'm really messy on my left hand. It's coming off tonight. Anyway, I don't know. So anyway, so that's that. So I will block it so this sits down nicely and everything. And I will redo this bow. So yeah, so that's that. And that's coming along nicely. And I'm not going to redo this dress. I may, when I knit my daughters, because I'm knitting another monkey for the little sister of the little girl that I'm knitting my current monkey for. I may go up 2 needle sizes for my little girl's monkey dress just to see the difference that it makes. I don't want to stuff it up for somebody else's dress. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So let's talk about my Brian. Okay, this is not where I was. This is where I was last week. This was not where I was last time I recorded. I think I was somewhere down here. So this is coming along. I finished the 3rd textured section. And then I finished that and I've gone, okay, I'm going to put it down for a little while. And that was Sunday. And I haven't picked it up since. And I probably will pick it up again, but it's nice to have a break from it. Oh, I still love this. It's absolutely beautiful. It's so nice. So nice, but it's just nice to take a break. Take a break and work on something else for a little while. So, and it's just, I mean, now it's the textured section. It's just garter stitch for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. So, but yeah, so that's coming along really nicely. The yarn is Madeline Tosh Venetian, which is this burgundy color. It's coming out quite burgundy on camera, but it's kind of a maroni burgundy. And the grey beigey color is Calligraphy, both Tosh Merino Light. And I'm knitting this one on 4mm needles. So, and this was knit on 3mm needles, and that's a 3mm crochet hook. If you are a crocheter, can you possibly tell me what difference? I don't get how the different hook sizes make a difference in the size loops that you're making. I mean, I can understand, I can see how crochet works. And it's kind of, I mean, I can understand now why there's, why you can tat with a crochet hook. Because there's a lot of similarities between the two, except with, yeah, not that I've tatted for ages, but yeah, I've been getting all nostalgic lately about old crafts, so tatting, which I taught myself a couple of years ago, actually when I was pregnant with the baby, and I need to get back into at some stage. I want to tat little embellishments and stick them and like attach them to project bags, because I think that would be cool. So like on something like this, it would have contrast fabric, but I might have a smaller amount, and then down here I'd have like something tatted, you know, like a little tatted embellishment in one of the colors from here. So I might do it in blue, in a similar blue, and have that down here. That's what I want to do, because I think that would look awesome. One day I'll get there. I bought fabric yesterday. Maybe next week I'll actually have something to show you that I keep buying fabric and washing it with the intent of sewing and then never sewing. Oh, my poor husband. I keep amassing things. So yes, so I've been a bit nostalgic recently about things like weaving, not necessarily with weaving board, whatever the rigid heddle board or whatever they're called, not necessarily like that, but you know, like just weaving in general. Weaving and tatting and macrame. I'm I think my dad used to do macrame, or my mum did or something, because I can remember some really ugly macrame in the house back in the 1980s. It may not have been from my parents may not have done it, but I think quite possibly they did, because it was all the rage in the 1970s. I think. But yeah, macrame is coming back in a vogue. But I realised the other day last night maybe it was a while ago, and last night the other night. Anyway, I used to do the friendship band, you tie all the knots and you end up with the multicoloured band. That's macrame. Did you know that tying the knots and making those bracelets, friendship bracelets, is actually macrame? There you go. So I can do it. I saw this really cute owl made out of multicoloured floss, like you do with the bands, and I thought I could knit one of I could make one of those, because I know how to macrame. All the things. Maybe I should call myself the retro crafter. I'm not changing my name. And I'm sure somebody would say, no, you're not very retro. I just like retro crafts. And I read something about, was it about macrame? Or macrame, I don't know. How do you say it? I think it might have been about tatting and macrame. But that it was a dying art, and, we should embrace these things. Tatting, yes. But even that, I think, is coming back into vogue, because even my local yarn store, which is where I was yesterday, I'm pretty sure they were buying the tatting shuttles, or they got some in. I don't know if they still have them in stock. Actually, I think they do. I think I saw some yesterday. But it's really easy to get tatting shuttles and like the crochet cotton, because I bought mine online, but I got it really easily from a place in Australia that specialises in crochet and tatting. So even macrame, it's not, and like a lot of places, there's a lot of people who have kept hold of all their crafting books from, the 1950s and earlier and onwards. So it's not hard to get your hands on those kind of things. So I don't think they're necessarily dying. I think they've just kind of gone out of vogue, and now we have a whole huge amount of people that are like my age and possibly younger, that are not too much younger, because I doubt my 19-year-old niece would be very interested in tatting or macrame. But yeah, I think perception has changed, and a lot of people are going, I want to learn how to do that. Like even hairpin lace. There was a lady at the Knitting Guild who was working on some hairpin lace. Not last month, but the month before. I think that's what she was doing. So, and it looked bizarre. I think it was like on some sort of loomy thing. But like all of those things, you can look them up on YouTube and find tutorials on how to do them. So if you can do that, then they're not dying. If you can't find someone who can teach you how to do it, then it's a concern. But if you can find a video on YouTube that teaches you how to do whatever it is that you want to do, it's not dying. And there's even modern tatting books out. There's one that's been done by a Japanese lady, and it's just the patterns or the designs in it are really lovely. And it's actually on my list of books that I want to add to my collection of craft books, because the little motifs and stuff are very, very, very nice. And it's not hard to get a book on tatting patterns, or even looking them up on Pinterest. So whoever wrote that is wrong. But if that motivates someone to go out and learn how to tat, or do a crewel embroidery, or anything, any other kind of anything that our grandmothers used to do, then go for it. Or, that's a good thing. But it's still wrong. So this is my tricolour block sock. My block socket to me tricolour sock, knit in Miss Click Clack's Merry Creek yarn. This is dogwood. This is Big Girl Pants. So I finished the first one, and I did a short row toe, and I love this sock. The yarn is so nice and soft, and according to my friend, who pretty much now only knits socks with this yarn, she does use other yarn, but Merry Creek is her favourite. It lasts and it wears really well. So I'm looking forward to finishing it. So I did my short row heel, I did my funky little gusset, and then I decreased on the other side, and then I did the 1x1 rib from Brownie sock recipe, which I knit for 2.5 inches. She says to knit it for 3. I did it for 2.5 because I got sick of it. I probably should have gone for the full 3, but didn't want to. And then I did the short row toe. So I love this short row toe. I love garter stitch. I love the feel of garter stitch. So I think this will be quite nice on my toes. Nice and squishy on my toes. If you do not like Kitchenerine, do not do it. Although I suppose you could do a zigzag bind off. That would be interesting. Oh, I have to look into that for another pair of socks. But yes, I had to Kitchener off the full, well, I mean, it was 32 stitches, 64 stitches around 32 stitches like across. So I had to Kitchener off 64 stitches. But if you look at it as in you're working on 2 stitches at a time, it was 32 stitches. Does that make sense what I'm saying? If you're a sock knitter, you'll understand. So if you do not like Kitchenerine, do not do a short row toe. I actually do not mind Kitchenerine at all. I do not mind it. I actually kind of sadly sort of enjoy it. There's something a little bit, it's very methodical, I think. And I think I'm not a particularly methodical person. I mean, my house is chaos. But there's something about knitting that's very methodical. And Kitchenerine in particular, that is really, really methodical. It's, you know, if I do this, this will happen kind of thing. I know exactly what sort of result I'm going to get. Yeah, so I don't mind Kitchenerine at all. I don't understand why people complain about it, but that's just me. So that is that. It's all done. And I have worn it and it fits really well. I'm really, 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 really happy with my first vanilla sock. Oh, look. Sorry. This may... I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened to me today. So yes, so really happy with the heel. Fits really well. Really happy with the whole entire thing. It makes me very happy. So well on my way along sock number 2. And yes, so speaking of socks, there is a sock along happening in the Have Knitting group on Ravelry. Any sock, any pattern, any weight yarn, whatever you want to do, ankle socks, toe up, cuff down, whatever. So that is running from, until the end of August, sorry, because that's the end of winter here. And then on the 1st of July, I'm really happy and excited, yay, to announce that Moira from Knitting in Stitches and I are running a stripy sock along. So, yes, so there will be a prize for that as well. So the prize for this sock, or the current sock along, not this sock, but the current sock along is, and I've left it over there, is a shawl pin that was made by a lovely viewer, Tonya. And there will be a prize for the stripy stripy sock knit along as well. I do not know what that prize will be yet. I think I said tomorrow I was happy to make a project back. So so I think that will be at least one of the prizes. So more details of that to come because we really haven't fleshed it out, other than we'll start in July because this sounds great. And we are both using Turtle Pearl yarns, which is a Canadian yarn. Moira is from Prince Edward Island in Canada, which always makes my 12-year-old so excited because she's a huge Anna Green Gables fan. And yes, so I have some Turtle Pearl yarns that I'm really keen to cast on. And yeah, so we will be knitting with that, but you can knit with any self-striping yarn that you like. And I think what I'll do, if you want to participate and you don't know where to start looking, I will start a thread with some of my favorite self-striping yarn shops. And if you have a self-striping yarn shop that you love, you can add the link to that. Does that make sense? So some of my favorite self-striping places are Stray Cat Socks. I haven't knit with her yarn, but apparently it's lovely and it looks beautiful knit up. The Cozy Knitter, Stray Cat Yarns is in New Zealand. So if you're in Australia and you don't want to pay exorbitant postage costs from the US, have a look at her. Heather Maid in Australia does some self-striping. I have not knit from any of her self-striping yarn. Actually, no, that was somebody else. I haven't bought from Heather Maid before. Other Australian designers, dyers, Beautiful Yarns by Christina of Christina's Knitting Catch Up or Christina's Catch Up podcast. She has started doing self-striping. I think Rose Hip Yarns might have self-striping occasionally. She's based in Tasmania. She also does a podcast, but I don't know her name. And then there's heaps of lovely ladies in the US that do them. And there's quite a few from Canada and England as well. So, plus store-bought self-striping yarns like the Serta Heart and Soul that I've used. I can't think of any other commercially dyed self-striping yarns, but they're around if you're curious. I think Regia might have some self-striping ones. I know they've got the self-patterning, but I think they have some self-striping. Oh, you can get Payton's Croy you can pre-order that from Yarnova in Queensland if you want something that's quite possibly a little bit cheaper, but I think you have to pre-order them. But anyway, I will link to all of those places and some of the Canadian and US and girls in UK, and they're all over the place, Europe, everywhere. So if you're keen to join in and you don't have any self-striping yarn or you don't know where to start looking, go and have a look at that thread, which I will open some stage after this is uploaded. But anyway, I think that's it for me. I'm going to I was going to knit on socks while I was talking and I didn't do that. I'm going to finish and I might watch a podcast while I wait for my son to wake up. We're supposed to be doing grocery shopping and it's almost 12. I've got to pick up my daughter at 3. So hopefully we have enough time, or otherwise I don't know what we're going to do for dinner tonight. But anyway, oh yes I do. I do know what we're doing for dinner tonight. I can get everything I need easily. Anyway, that's enough of my rambling. Have an awesome, however long it is until I see you again. And I almost forgot. What is the Have Knitting podcast without the I almost forgot segment? I know I don't do it all the time, but I do it, and it's fun. My son's now awake and eating lunch and looking at me with a big smile on his face. If you saw something white on my eyelid before, it was a piece of tissue. So if you were wondering what on earth was going on with my eyes, I just had tissue stuck to my eyelid. Didn't realize. I actually thought it was glare from the light. I don't know. But since finishing recording, I brought my washing in. So if you're worried about my washing getting wet, it's in and it's dry. But the thing that I forgot was one of my other highlights, and I wanted to share this with you because it had to do with my knitting. You all remember the Bosk pear shawl that I was knitting? Excuse me, I've got the burps now because I've had something to eat. The Bosk pear shawl that I was knitting. Well, my friend celebrated her birthday on Saturday. We all went. Well, there's a group of us, there's about 6 of us, that went for high tea in Lyra, which was lovely. I mean, aside from the fact that it was really yummy food and it was a high tea, I got out of the house with some of my very bestest friends in the whole entire universe for a couple of hours without kids, which is awesome, always awesome. So we did that on Saturday and I got to give my friend her shawl and she loves it. And she wore it the whole time we were there, which is fantastic. So yeah, she was really happy with it, and I think I posted a photo of it in the Ravelry group maybe in the What You're Working On thread. I'm not quite sure, but if you go have a look in there is a photo. There's a photo. It's a photo of 5 of us because my other friend was taking the photo. But there's a photo of my friend wearing the shawl as well in there. So it's just Anyway. So that's that. That was all that I had forgotten, and I wanted to mention that because it was a highlight and it had to do with knitting, and yes. So anyway, happy knitting. I can hear my phone making funny noises, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.